Mom, if you see this, if you keep this part in there. Mom, I'm sorry.
Sibley Scoles, known Sibley for 2 years. She loves to box, she's an athlete first. Very accomplished in the world of broadcasting, works with the Raiders, Revolt, DAZN, all Jake Paul's fights, and the list goes on and on, but she started as an artist first. So you'll hear a little bit more about that, but I'm excited to have this young lady on today. I'm learning a lot from her. She's a lot of fun, check it out.
Grand entrance.
All like together this early in the morning?
No, I don't.
Is there any sort of like, didn't get sleep and you had to get up early, forgot to eat? What's that self-talk like? Is there self-talk to get you through it?
My grandfather served in the Army. He was a POW. He got a Purple Heart. He saw things that no one should ever see, right? He literally is the person, and the reason I go by Sibley is my grandfather. His birthday was 3 days away from mine, so we were like twins on our birthdays. When I feel like I can't get something done, especially on runs, like long runs too, like, and again, this is extreme, but that man was my best friend, and literally I think about him. I'm like, if he could go through all those things, get out, raise his family. I was the only one he talked to about that too. That was my first interview I ever did in high school. It was with my grandfather. That was my very first time I ever did something. And he always called me Miss Fremont. He's like, you're gonna be something, you're gonna do something with yourself. He's not here anymore, but he passed in 2000, but he literally was my first interview I ever did in my entire life.
Your back foot. My bad.
No, I knocked myself out. Now at least I can say you hit me.
So you're in broadcasting now, but you didn't start in broadcasting. As I've gotten to know you, I learned a lot more. How did it all start before broadcasting?
I always knew that I wanted to perform. I loved rapping Forte, E40, Too Short. I just wanted to do that. I wanted to perform. That was always the goal. That was always the dream. I went by Sib Vicious, which is my Instagram handle. I got a song called Donuts. That kind of got big in Hawaii. They played it out there, so I went to Hawaii to do some radio shows, all while I'm doing bottle service. Broke, trying to figure it out. And then I got a call from a friend of mine. He's a producer. His manager at the time wanted to see me, meet me. She lived in London. She's like, we love the song Donuts. We want you to come out here. Let's try to get you a record deal. My uncles worked for the airlines at the time. I asked if I could get a buddy pass to go to London. I got my passport, everything, and I didn't really tell anyone that I was going. I told my boss, hey, I'm taking whatever I make from tips and I'm leaving. And he's like, all right, good luck. I was supposed to go for 6 months because that's how long the visa lasted. I ended up staying on and off for 2 years, really? Touring, Stella McCartney licensed Donuts, performed at Paris Fashion Week with Donuts for her on her show. I got to meet my mother out there, so I did so many things. I toured with Tayo Cruz. I was doing a lot of stuff, working with a lot of people, but then what I wanted was the record deal, and it was during the time like the Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl and all these 360 deals, but I didn't get the deal that I wanted. I got a call from a friend of mine at the time. She had a casting agency. They're looking for extras for this new show coming out. Someone big name was attached to it. Go for an extra $200. I went to it, ended up being Revolt TV, and I ended up becoming the host of a 1 hour live show. Not knowing what I was doing, but I came in there like an artist, because I was an artist.
Body? Good. Wait for it though, wait for it.
Okay, here we go.
After the body? Tell me about some of your influences in music and broadcasting. Who would you say some of your influences were?
Larry King, he just got straight to the point. He was great, charismatic. If he messed something up, he just kept going. He had his whole team correcting him, if not behind the scenes. You wanted to be on that show. You wanted to sit with him. Anthony Bourdain for just the authenticity of it all. The world aspect of not vacationing, but meeting people from different countries and just getting and understanding who they are.
You're an only child?
Me and my sister.
You and your sister? She's younger?
She's younger.
You definitely seem like older.
If you're filming, don't zoom the fingernails. Those are getting done.
That's all natural. All natural.
I was like, natural. They look tore up.
After studying them and learning everything you learned, what would you say makes a good interview and what makes like a bad interview?
When I finally got out of my head and realized, no, this is where you're supposed to be, the one thing I realized in a great conversation is just be yourself. I sit with you like I'll sit with anyone else. We're all human beings at the end of the day. It's harder with some people to do that with, but I find that to be the easiest. And if I mess up, that's just life. I speak to someone like how I talk to my nieces, my parents, whoever it is.
I don't expect you to know this, but most boxing heads don't know this.
Yeah.
But do you know what year Floyd became world champion?
2000.
1998.
Oh,
When he got
okay.
his first title. So he's been a champion since 98.
That long?
Yeah. Think about that, for 20 years straight. People who consider themselves boxing heads don't know that. Fly back. Hardest assignment or?
The hardest one for me, and it should have been more fun, and I finally let go when I got to meet him, Tom Cruise. They sent me to Washington, D.C. for Mission Impossible, and I had seen the uproar when he goes out to meet the fans, sign autographs, and I didn't understand what I was getting myself into. Maybe my third year in doing it, still feeling green, you know, because I didn't go to college for this. I felt like this just happened and I ran with it. They just sent me out there on assignment. I had to watch the interview back. I had to send over the notes, the post shoot. I did everything. That was the first time I'd ever had to do everything, and it was with him. I was by myself, and I literally just said, what do I know about sports? And I took it to, I said, how fast is your 40? He immediately was like, what?
Yeah.
What do you know about a 40? Yeah, and I was like, no, tell me.
Because he's running in all the moves.
Yeah, so did you clock your 40? And he just had fun. 'Cause, you know, those type of things are intimidating when you never met that person, and then you see them on TV or a movie, and it's like they're larger than life. To sit with him, I was like, oh, this is cool, because this man actually, I don't know what everyone, you know, has to say about anyone as a human being, but him as that star, he gave every single individual person their time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When they were trying to pull him, he said, no, let me finish.
Hit myself in the face.
That's the first. You're a legend for that. Right up here. Good. One more?
No one's knocked themselves out for me.
Right. I've done it before. I see you coming in and out of the gym. We talk. Now, obviously, I see you at work. But obviously, there's a strong work ethic. Where does that come from?
I feel like in my life, the one thing that I've always had control over was myself. I may not always see that when I speak to people, or I may not always feel confident, but I know what I bring to the table, and I don't ever limit myself. I know when I hit my ceiling in something, so I need to like move on to the next thing, or it needs to get better. I can't stay at one level. I need to keep grinding, because I also know no one's coming to help me. What I want out of life, no one can give me except for myself. And I don't want to ever make an excuse as to why I can't do something.
Yeah, do two more.
Can you talk about the role of fitness in your life? Because you work out a lot. Obviously, it's not to just be in shape, right? Tell me about it.
My mental, like I said, those runs, I found my love of running again. I remember how I used to feel when I would run those long distance runs. I love uphill sprints. I love, you know, knocking it out and getting it done. But now it's not about the fitness. Even if it's 20 minutes, put the headphones on, whether it's a guided run or it's just me listening to like David Goggins or somebody. I just put it in and I go. I'm excited about it now. I get excited about working out and training.
And what about boxing? Like, why do you like boxing?
I just enjoy the art form. It's not just going in there and sweating and trying to get physically fit. It's like, oh, I learned how to do this, so now I can speak about it. Getting into the world of boxing, for me, I don't commentate on the games, but I go in those post-wins and I'm in the ring talking to the boxers. And I want them to feel comfortable talking to me too. I'm not gonna give you the blow by blow of everything that broke down, but I wanna understand it and have an appreciation and know that I'm there. So I think for me, fitness, boxing, running, everything, that's my schooling. I enjoy learning. I like educating myself in all those aspects.
Mentors, have you had any mentors in the industry that helped you?
Yeah, so music-wise, MC Light. She was early on, amazing. Her delivery, just watching her in meetings, she helped me a lot. And then when I got into television, Andy Schoen, who started Revolt, his mind is always moving, he's adventurous, he takes risks, and even still to this day when he has new projects, he's never forgotten about me. He checks in, we check in with each other, he's been great. And also, like, I think my biggest mentor, and she doesn't know it, I don't think I've ever told her this, is probably my sister, my young sister,
really?
my younger sister, yeah. It's just the two of us growing up, but that girl has had my back since day one. Even though she's the younger sister, she's really inspired me, and anytime I have a problem, like, that's the first number I call is my sister.
Do you have like a life philosophy or like a saying or like a mantra or like a way of thinking?
When my sister graduated high school, I got her, was it a chain or a ring? And it's inscribed, live your life your way.
Yeah.
And like, that was my very first mantra, I'd say. And then now I say life is beautiful. Because at the end of the day, life is really what you make it. And again, anyone watching this, you gotta get it on your own. You know what I mean? Not sometimes, all the time. You're gonna have a support system. But I've been a lone wolf for so long. For me, life is, honestly, it's like what you make it, and it can be beautiful. It is beautiful. We're here, we're breathing, we're alive. But also, at the end of the day, live it your way. Again, I never let anyone dictate anything, and as long as you're leading with your heart, you're gonna be good.